Ultimate Thermite Guide, from basics to all advanced stuff. Subtitles are available as well as timestamps for each paragraph. Basics of basics, which is his loadout. I prefer his assault rifle and handgun with more capacity, more chances to hit a head. Attachments are preference, I'm usually going with the flashbangs, unless you really need a claymore somewhere. You will usually deal against Jaeger or Vamai, or both of them. But aside from that, flashbangs also have different uses. Either way, you will always be able to use the flashbangs. Speaking of his gadget, he's one of the 3 hard breachers so far. And most of the time, if your team consists of a hard breacher, it will be just one. You may ask, what the hell hard breacher is? It is someone that breaches reinforced walls or hatches, but also can open the soft parts. You can even hot breach a thermite through the window. It is 10 out of 10 recommended. Jokes aside, thermite has an exothermite charge that blows up pretty much everything that can be blown. However, it will take between 2 or 3 seconds to explode the charge. During that time, if you can place your exothermite charge on the soft wall, on a non-reinforced hatch or any soft part which includes you to try to hot breach the window, your exothermite charge can and will be shut down by the bullet or any other damage. So, if you're a defender and see an exothermite charge trying to blow up a soft hatch or a soft wall, ceiling or whatnot, you can shoot it. This will come very important in more advanced stuff. So, if you're not figured it out yet, since you will be most likely the only operator that will breach through the reinforced stuff, you dying usually means you losing the whole round. And for that reason, people categorize him as a support. And he usually is a support. But once he's done his job, open the reinforced panel by the consulate's garage, or if you simply don't need a hard breach like on Coastline Hookah, you're becoming a fragmite. I'm not going to talk about what should support or fraggers do in this video, so let's immediately jump on his gadget. But if you would like to have these videos, let me know down in the comment section below. So far, everything is beautiful and the sky is blue, but it's going to get a bit more cloudy when I mention Mute, or Bandit, or Kaid, or Impacts. If you haven't guessed it yet, I have named all of your counters minus spawn peak and C4 from below, and you're very exposed from C4 from below, because when you're placing your exothermite charge, you're making loads of noise, and since you're static, you're a freebie for a pre-placed C4. Mute is not a direct counter to you, but if you have not operated the deal with the Mute jammers by the reinforced walls, well, that's a 1-0 score from Mute versus Thermite. Usually, you will have Thatcher to deal with Mute, and then you're Gucci. However, if you don't, then your team is forced to do something about the jammers and get rid of it. Sometimes it means clean the whole building of roamers just to get that one jammer. Taking example of Shall I Snowball Garage. So there is a reason why people call Thatcher the best buddy of Thermite. So far, so good, right? Looks simple until you mention Bandit. I have mentioned it in the Ultimate Bandit Trick Guide, but I will repeat. Bandit can Bandit Trick, and you can see what that does in the top right corner, and Bandit Tricking was invented to stop Thatcher and Thermite. It is not the other way around. Thatcher and Thermite themselves only cannot open a wall if it is being Bandit Tricked. Then it's time to call for your other friends such as Zofia, Capital, Ying, Flashes, and so on to help you to open the wall. How to counter bandit tricking as attacker was explained in already said video of the Ultimate Bandit Tricking Guide, which you can check again on the top right corner. I have said Kaid, and yes, Kaid can kite trick walls but also hatches. Thatcher sure can stop kite to kite trick, but you either require a perfect timing from an EMP, or to be the most safest you need 2 MPs, because kite can kite trick as already stated. You want to make sure that there are no pre-placed kite electroclaws, and once you made it sure, then you will want to throw another EMP to get rid of the electroclaw that could be put between the first EMP's explosion and from the exothermite charge blowing itself. More about Thatcher vs Kaid will be in Thatcher's video, or Kaid's video. Side note, Kaid needs around 1.8 seconds more to get activated against EMP. And the final counter will be impacts, or impact tricking. Sometimes they are done above the walls, like on the clubhouse church walls, or villa. Sometimes it will be done under, such as on Oregon, from generator to the fan to get rid of the exothermite charge located between these two walls. Or you can use the clubhouse arsenal kitchen hatch for these two holes depending on where Xeror's or exothermite charge is. You can even trick from the further away, like on border, from the workshop all the way to the locker's wall. Did you know that you can also impact trick exothermite charge for a solid ceiling, even if you didn't prep it? However, the splash damage has to be able to get to the charge, as shown in the border clip once again. Spots for impact tricking, most likely for the supporters. But when you're fighting against the impact tricking from above the wall, make sure to crouch as a thermite and put the exothermite charge as lower as possible, as that way it will be way harder to impact trick your charge on top. They could possibly fail to impact trick. As Thermite, you and your team has to be picky which walls you want to get opened, especially when you're a lone hard breacher. For an example, if you have open piano wall on the cafe, you can choose either to open the default plant spot on the left side or to open freezer to cut the rotation between white stairs to cocktail, and overall to have an additional way to pressure defenders. Having this in mind, we'll go in a bit more advanced stuff. You can actually do both. Not as good as it sounds, but you can make a breach hole for the plant, but also an angle to see the freezer. Maybe a better example would be putting an exothermite charge on banks, cafeteria, admin, archives walls. Or coastlines 90 VIP penthouse halls. This is extremely powerful if you cannot get rid of the Bandit charges, or if you simply cannot find the electroclaw. Also, this trick is not as easy as it looks like. So for this trick, we are abusing here the splash damage of an exothermite charge, which also can be used to open some of the hatches, especially important to know if they are KI'd or muted. Let's take an example of Oregon Laundry. You can put an exothermite charge just above the hatch from the classroom. You can put it also on the right side, or even on the left side. Either way you will open the reinforced hatch. So, as a defender, and if you want to hold this hatch of the thermite, you need to open the whole area. This trick can also be done against hatches that are surrounded by soft floor, like you will be able to see in the cafe or border. But now the third paragraph will come very important. Putting an exothermite charge on the soap part means defenders can't deal with it, so any bullet or impact beneath the exothermite charge will destroy it. However, if you're out of option to open the hatch aside from putting it on the floor, then you have nothing to lose. Maybe asking a self-destruction like Buck or Sledge to push back any defender like on Clubhouse, or simply to throw a grenade to destroy the electroclaw would be a smart idea. So, don't open the area around the hatch, you will still need to put the exothermite charge. Since we have touched the topic about Maverick and his holes, he's probably your best buddy against Bandit, better than Thatcher when opening the walls, because Maverick just doesn't care what is on the other side of the wall, he just destroys Bandit charges. He won't be able to counter Kite on the other hand. But how do you open walls when you have Maverick? Playing in a way that you cannot be shot as Thermite or Maverick. If you want to open Jacuzzi or CC wall on the clubhouse, let Maverick open the bottom part to get rid of the charges, and then you can, while repelling upside down, finish up the wall without being contested at all. If you cannot repel, then it's all up to Maverick. Maverick needs to know how to and where to open the wall, to get rid of the charges and still let you open the wall, or simply he can do the Maverick trick. Ultimate Maverick Guide is also available on the top right corner. Maverick vs Thermite. Maverick definitely can make as big holes as Thermite does, and has even more options to make. You can make a half wall if you like, for example. Maverick also doesn't care if the wall is electroclawed or bandited. he will do his job. He can also open 2 hatches as much as Thermite does. However, Maverick requires way more practice, especially the hatch part, but as well as the way he's opening the walls. He's way more exposed than Thermite, and a bit slower. If you're in a solo queue and you lack of hard breacher, go for Maverick. However, if you just want to open huge walls, and you have utility in your team to deal with the Thermite's counters, then Thermite is a go-to operator. Maverick versus Hibana. Hibana cannot make huge holes on the walls, and banning Thermite on maps like Cafe, Border, Chalet, like Garage, Consulate, Garage, can be very costly for attackers. What Hibana brings is a free-speed hard breacher operator that can get through 3 hatches, very powerful on Bank or Clubhouse for an example, and has a better loadout than Thermite. She can open up walls from afar, therefore on places like Border, Office to Archives walls, if no defenders are playing in the office, you can have a beautiful angle towards the archive all the way to the half wall from the office balcony. There are obviously more spots like this, that Hibana can open the walls from afar. On the other hand, it's way easier to bandit trick Hibana than Thermite. And yes, you can trick Hibana's middle Xeros, unless that is her last bullet. With these 2 comparisons, I will end the video. Thank you for watching the video. If you have any feedback, let me know down in the comment section below. If you would like to support me, drop me a like, subscribe and click the notification bell not to miss any video from my channel. Make sure to join my Discord server and follow me on Twitter.